Hello folks and welcome. So LXQt desktop for Lubuntu, and you can see some of the basic information. I'm going to move my microphone, I'm sorry. I'm going to be giving you more information detailed in a second, but today's video is about the panel bar. I had a subscriber ask me how to put icons on the panel. I'm going to carry this a little bit further. I'm not only going to show you how to put these icons on the panel, how to move some of these around, but actually take a group of them and move it over to here. And then also take the panel and move it from the bottom to the top or left or right. I'll even show you how to change that icon if you like and add text. In other words, stuff that has to do with the panel today. Rearranging the furniture is what I call it. So I'm going to close this and open up a web browser, and I'm going to use DistroWatch. If you don't know too much about Lubuntu, they're out of France and Taiwan. It's a Debian Ubuntu based system, Linux desktop. And they do offer a live medium, so you can go test drive if you like. I don't use the popularity factor on DistroWatch at all, but I do appreciate the way they lay out their information and also give you links. So Lubuntu.me if you want this distribution. So as I pointed out earlier, a subscriber asked me about information on how to put icons on the panel. So you're watching this on Linux for Seniors. So you should say a round circle above the time date thing you can click on to subscribe to Linux for Seniors. Alright, so I have over 270 videos on all kinds of subjects. Linux is for any age, and I make mention of that in my About section. But the name of the channel is Linux for Seniors. If you don't see that logo floating around, go find me on YouTube. Look for Linux for Seniors. Linux for Seniors. Let me start with the panel. Start with the little bird. Right-click, Application Menu, Configure Application Menu. I'm going to turn everything off. This is normally how your system comes. Now I'm going to turn this on and this on. So I just added some text, and I added a goofy icon. That goofy icon came from Bob's home folder. Bob is just a made-up name. So if you're fairly new to the LXQt desktop, it's PCManFMQT is the file manager. So in here I have a subfolder called icons. You can call it whatever you want. Now my recommendation is if you download icons off the internet yourself or make the icons yourself, create a folder, put it wherever in your subfolders or subdirectories. But once you put the folder there and start using one or more icons, is to leave the name alone and the position of where the folder is, because it's a locator. I have a bunch of goofy icons. You can probably see them in here. That's where this is getting its reference from, just by me clicking that. Okay, you can see the path. So Bob, again, is just a made-up name. I want to turn that off. It goes right back to the Lubuntu icon. I can turn the text off too. So if you do text, you can click to the right or left of it and add some spacing in here if you want, on both sides. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about this tool here, Screen Grab Tool. It's part of your menu. Type in SC. Screen Grab. I just dragged it and dropped it in here. So I'm going to talk about making a screen grab or a screenshot of the settings for this bar. But I'm going to first talk about icons. So I have a couple of games that I installed through Muon, and I don't remember if it was this one or this one, but I'll just talk about this game here. So if I right click on it and add to desktop, you can see it up here. It has a round circle with an exclamation point on it. The reason for that is because it's waiting for you to do that. And it'll continue doing that until you make a change. If you do the open, it gives you that. All right, that can confuse no users. Right click, trust this is executable. Now the little circle's gone. This opens normally now. So far so good? Okay. Now, putting icons on the panel can get confusing, and I think this is one of the reasons that user asked me how to put these icons on the panel. Because when you click them, you get a lot of no symbols. I'll give you an example. I'm going to click and drag. You got a no symbol there, here, no symbol here, but you got a green symbol here. But this is the desktop. I don't want to make a copy there or do a symlink. I want to put it on the panel. Normally this is the only icon that you get minus the show desktop. And of course your desktop 1 through 4. So what I want you to do is basically take your first icon and squeeze it right next to the file manager. You see there's a plus symbol there. Let go of it. Now the reason mine jumped way over here is because I have these other icons there. So this is an open program or application. So it will place your icons on the after the last one. This was my last one. Now this is the last one. This again is an open program. This is my last icon. So if I drag another one, it goes right next to that green 2048. I will find anything. It doesn't matter what it is. I will open up this this PDF viewer and throw that over here. And again, it's going to jump right over to here. Then you can right click on these things and move it to the left and keep moving it all the way up to this show desktop. Then it'll gray out. One more. Now it's grayed out. Now I can only move them to the right, all the way up to here. Okay, so within this panel. Now I'm going to show you how to move this whole group from here to here. I'm also going to show you how to move this panel from here to here. And resizing the height even, and the icon sizes. So this is where the screenshot tool is going to come in handy. So put yourself the screenshot tool, type in SC, screen grab, throw it on your desktop, throw it on your panel. Just when you use it, it's pretty simple. So I just did a screenshot of the actual desktop because I had no open windows, in other words, settings, and I get everything. So you have the selection types are full screen, which makes for a big screenshot because normally you don't need the wallpaper and the panel, you're just after settings. So that's why mine is favorite. My favorite is window. There's also one more in here, screen grab, or screen area they call it. All right, with that said, I'm going to close that and I'm going to right click on the panel and hit panel configure panel, or panel configure panel. It's kind of redundant, isn't it? Anyways, your numbers at the top will be a little different than mine because I already resized everything. So whatever your numbers are. So when you start, may I highly suggest before you make changes to anything, you do a quick screen grab, screenshot. So right now it's taking a screenshot of the window, this box. No wallpapers, that's great. That makes for a smaller image. Save. And I have a folder that is in Bob's Pictures folder called Screenshots. Now since I already have a couple of these, I'm going to cancel that for a second and go and empty this folder manually. Just by wiping this stuff out because I want this from scratch. So what I did was I went into the pictures folder and I created a new folder called Screenshots. And I recommend that you do the same. And then when you're saving your screenshots, again you do the save symbol here. Wherever you saved your folder, as in my case it's Bob Picture Screenshots, is to name these things. So I'm going to call this one panel config and put today's date. So I will click on the calendar, November 25. So I will put panel config dash 11 25 23. Why am I making a screenshot to begin with? Because unless you got a great memory, it's always a good idea in case you wanted to revert back to where you started from. So you start making alterations to things. All right, so the panel height, if you go up in size, is top to bottom. The icon sizes you can also increase, and it'll increase the icon sizes. If you do the row height, just be aware that you may get some weird effects like that. That's 2 rows. You can take a look at the panel. 3 really tiny icons because it's trying to make room for all this, and this is kind of squeezed in. And 4, and now I'm up to 4, and you can barely see these. So in that essence, I don't really care for that setting. But again, it could look different on your screen resolution also. The position of your panel is bottom desktop. You can also put these on the top. Now your Lubuntu menu is over here. You can also do this from right to left if you like. All right, I'll put this back to the bottom. So far so good? Okay, so how did I get that? Right click, configure panel. Now that I made a screenshot, I'm going to go to widgets and I'm going to do another screenshot of this. This becomes very important to understand. These are, if you want to call them elements, you want to call it furniture, because I'm going to rearrange them. So that's why I say rearranging the furniture. I'm going to move this group of icons over to here. I'm also going to move the clock from possibly this end to the other, and the Lubuntu menu also. So now would be a good time to make a screenshot out of what you started with. Snapshot, that one there, save, same place, pictures, screenshot. We're going to call this one widgets. I'll just type in widget config panel. And we can squeeze in the date if you'd like, but I'm going to save some time by just doing that. All right, let's go take a look at the screenshot just to make sure we did it right. It's always a good idea to check these. Okay, widget config panel. I can clearly see everything. All right, so far so good. Now let's move this stuff around. So the first thing I'm going to do is quick launch. Quick launch are these icons from 2048 all the way to this PDF viewer. So I'm going to move that down, and it took that whole group and threw it over here. Okay, and if you were to drag icons as a shortcut, you would be dragging them over here now instead of over here. This is an open program. All right, so with that said, right click, configure panel, widgets. Now I'm going to take the clock / calendar and move that around. You can see it on the move right now. It's right here currently. And I'm gonna put it right in the left corner. Okay, and close. Now that's my new calendar position. And again, I can also change these to my goofy icons. Or I could change it to something different even on the fly. Or no text, your choice. All right, I'm going to turn both of them off. Actually, I'll leave the Lubuntu. Okay, so let's move that to another position. Again, this is the world clock. So now that's over here. Now it's there, and it'll flip over to here this time. And I'll put that back in the corner. So again, these are just different elements. So if I wanted this bar back, since I only moved it once, but I do have a screenshot in case I need to go refer back to it, it's going to move this whole grouping over to here by just doing one up. So far, so good? Okay. You know, every desktop is slightly different. Even when you watch my videos on an XFCE desktop, there's sometimes subtle changes. I have a lot of users that say, oh, so you can apply that to every single XFCE desktop. That depends on the function. Not everything is identical. Nothing ever is. So there's slight customization changes sometimes. So now that you know how to change that icon, add the text, you can move these icons around from there. You can drag them, new icons on your desktop. By throwing that there, just be aware that they jump toward the end, and if you need to move that, you can certainly do that rather easily. And you can remove them if you don't like them. Same thing with your desktop. Just remember to trust that launcher, because when you stick them on your desktop, it doesn't matter what they are. Okay, you got that little circle going on, you're going to get that thing. As soon as you trust the executable, then you're good to go. Okay, I know that doesn't have much information, but you get the idea. So I'm just going to delete that one. And then I think I'm going to do a quick recap. Right click, configure application menu. Again, text button, icon, bring in your own icons if you want to do that. And you can return it rather easily back to default. Okay. Now the menu itself, panel, again, you can move it from the bottom to the top, to the left, to the right. You can also change the height of the panel and the height of the icons. And then the widgets, again, highly recommend screenshots when you do any of this stuff. You can move these elements around, and if you're talking about the group of icons, it's quick launch, moving them completely from here to here. And then of course you can move the rest of these elements around. One more example, I'm going to move the Lubuntu over on the opposite end of this screen. Okay, now the menu is over here. That's the same symbol of that bird right there, if you're curious. Thank you for watching.